Good morning. Happy Monday. Welcome to the Plant-Based Morning Show presented by Compliment. Lovecompliment.com is where you can go to find all kinds of good plant-based supplements and things to enhance your healthy lifestyle. All right, I'm going to add Doug into the mix here, and then we will get started with our Monday show. We got some fun stuff today. I'm excited about today's show. Have some interesting topics, fun little weekend. Interesting to hear about camping, which Doug did. I want to hear about other people's races, which we know some of our loyal listeners were racing this weekend, 50Ks. So anyway, that should be a fun day.
Hey, Matt.
Doug's been at it. How's it going, Doug?
Happy Monday.
Happy Monday to you. Remember you used to do like a dance every time you'd come on? Remember that old tradition we used to have? It was so long ago.
Yeah, I had a whole like shtick, and then just like everything else in my life, you beat it down so hard that I gave up on it.
I know. It's been a while.
I mean, it has. I still dance to the weather report music.
Yeah, that's great. Perfect time to do it. I think.
I broke out the ukulele at the campfire this weekend.
Oh, really? You brought that, huh?
Oh, yeah. It's like the perfect little travel music guitar thing.
You weren't there with friends, where it was just your family?
It was. Why does that?
Because I hate the guy who brings the guitar to the camp, because then he takes all the attention, and like we have to stop the conversation because this guy's gonna play the songs. I mean, I like playing guitar, I like music and all that.
I hear that. So I agree with you there. I actually totally agree with you there. The guy who brings the music to the guitar to the party or the like gathering or something like that, and
right.
You end up having to. But so it was my family and my sister's family.
Okay.
A little different, and also it wasn't like we were hanging out and I pull out the guitar situation,
right?
Because I'm with you there. It's the I'm sitting around by myself by the fire. I just built up a fire. People are cooking or whatever, and you kind of break it out and pick around a little bit.
Perfect, good. Plus, ukulele is a little different from guitar. It's kind of more casual thing. You just kind of do quietly. Absolutely. Yeah. All right, good. I like that. I'm glad to hear that.
So I liked that. I liked that question. That was good response. Happy week, everyone. Aisha says I'm intense. Maybe it was my volume really loud.
I don't know. Yeah, I wondered that as well. I'm not sure what it was. We had Earth Day over the weekend, Doug. Is that a big moment for you, for your family?
You know, typically it is, but I guess since we were camping and with the Earth, we didn't even talk about it.
Right. It's the best thing. You don't even need a holiday like that. You just already integrated with the Earth.
So that was Saturday. Anything to celebrate?
No, I today saw it was April 24th, and then I in a panic thought I have this association with Earth Day. Oh no, I don't. I saw something about Earth Month, and I was like, wow, I didn't realize it was Earth. Or I thought that was coming up or something. I was like, oh man, we're 24 days into Earth Month, I think. And then I panicked, and I was like, was Earth Day on 420 when all I was talking about was smoking marijuana and Hitler's birthday and Columbine, and we just didn't even mention Earth Day? So then I looked it up and was relieved to find that it was Saturday, April 22nd this year.
Yes. Yeah. Yep.
Okay. Good.
I should clarify. It was the me coming right out and sharing my feelings about how you beat down on my ideas. I'm working on that through therapy. You know, just coming out and just like addressing issues. No, I'm just kidding.
Right.
We had a lot of people run races this weekend, so I want to give some shout outs.
Yeah, do it. I haven't checked in on Discord yet, so I don't know the results of these, but I'm curious about a few of them.
In no particular order, Bianca ran her Death by 5K, which was a 5K every 2 hours for 24 hours to total 31 miles.
Okay.
Right? 10 loops.
Yeah, 50K. Okay.
Is that right? 90 minutes, 2 hours? Forget. I don't know.
Yeah, it seems like you could get more than that done in 2 hours, but
yeah.
I mean, if it was every 2 hours, I think you could get 12 of those things done. 12 of these 2 hours.
Well, it was 10 5Ks every couple hours, basically.
Oh, 2.5.
Maybe 2.5 hours.
Okay.
But so she finished, and the small report that I wrote was that it felt absolutely brutal. Lack of sleep made me feel a little insane. Everyone was walking on the last loop, but I decided to try and run, and immediately tripped on the first route I passed.
So I mean, it sounds like a 100-miler experience.
Yeah, and that's what she said somewhere. Is she didn't ever run a 100 miler, but she guesses this is probably kind of what it feels like, the sleep deprivation side of it.
Okay. Well, good
Mr.
preparation at least for
Yeah,
50 miler.
anything longer, sure. Mr. Jeffrey ran the Mendocino Coast 50K, my
Mhm.
favorite 50K out there,
Yep.
hosted
Plant-based
by
food options hosted by Sid.
Sid Garza-Hillman. Sounds like he crushed it. Him and his wife crushed it.
Yep.
Law Dog ran the Heiner 50K in Pennsylvania. His report is that full of everything Pennsylvania is known for: terrible climbs, technical descents, rocks, and saving the worst climb for last. But he finished. So,
wow. Okay.
congrats there.
Well, 3 finishes then of 50Ks. That is good.
3 50Ks, 3 finishes.
Was that Mr. Jeffrey's first 50K?
I believe it was, yes. And Bianca's as well.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Good. Okay. Well, good for everybody. So Bianca's going for the 50 after this. I think that's only a month away because she's going to do her. She's going to do no drinking for a month, and then I don't know if Mr. Jeffrey's going beyond 50K. I'd be curious to know if he shows up here today. All right, cool. That's good. And how was camping, Doug, in general? How'd that whole thing go? Because you're still on the dry 21-day challenge. What are we about halfway done that now, or we're 2 weeks in?
Oh, we're more than halfway. We're 2 out of the 3 weeks in.
That's like okay. So you got a countdown chart on the wall or something?
Final countdown. Final 7 days here.
Do you have a chart on the wall?
I don't like crossing out the days. No. It's just every morning waking it up and crossing it off mentally. No, camping really wasn't that bad. I thought it was going to be worse. It wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be. I think partly because there were kids there. Like if it had just been adults, then that would be a slightly different story. But
that'd be hard. You'd be off playing ukulele by yourself.
It'd be off playing. Yeah. It really wasn't that bad. There were definitely times when I would have loved to have had a beer, but I chose the an Athletic Brewing or NA beer instead. And
yeah, I mean, those are great for that.
And I drink a bunch of them. Like I drink probably 5 over the course of the weekend, maybe 6. So I just kind of had them more frequently.
It's like that's a 3% alcohol beer you got there over the course of the weekend.
There you go, and you add them all up. up to 3%. Up to
3%, yeah.
I will say that it was quite nice. Usually when you're camping, you stay up a little late, maybe, or you go to bed early, but you don't have a great night's sleep. It was pretty cold where we were, so it was like a little bit of tossing and turning with the cold too, on top of the sleeping on the ground. And waking up and not, having had a bad night's sleep anyway, to also not have a little bit of a cloudy brain,
right.
Was quite nice. So maybe it'll be a new thing for me.
Okay,
probably not.
Good. There wasn't any great waking up at dawn moment where you were like, "This is incredible to be with nature and not inebriated," or
no,
none of that. Didn't happen.
None of that.
Okay. And the other people, adults, they were drinking beer a little bit, real beer.
Yes. Yep.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I think those athletic brewings, and that's a great use case, right? When everyone else is, and you don't have something.
Yeah.
That's a great time to have that.
Yeah. And it really wasn't bad. Like I never was like bummed out about it at all. So
yeah. Good.
I've changed a lot. I've grown a lot as a person the last 2 weeks, Matt.
Yeah. I don't doubt it. I mean, I think something like that, a challenge like that, is a great thing. It can do that. And what about food? Did you do what you said on Friday? Typical burritos and whatever?
Yeah. Burritos on Friday. Doughboys for breakfast both mornings. Which is for anyone who wasn't here on Friday, it's the take a biscuit, like a little, what do you call those?
I don't know. The biscuits in a can, right?
Biscuits in a can, wrap it around a stick and roast it to perfection. It's my favorite meal.
And you get some kind of vegan one, or are they automatically by mistake vegan?
The Annie's ones are vegan.
Annie's. Okay.
Or Amy's. I think it's Annie's.
Okay.
And then did burgers and stuff on Friday night. Or on Saturday night.
Cool. Very good.
How about you, Matt? How was your weekend? You've started your fast, right?
Started the fast yesterday. Fasting mimicking. So I still am eating calories. I got to have about 1,150 calories yesterday, which is like 2 soups, 2 little bars, and a dessert and some olives. Nothing much. Today is when it gets real, where you go down to 800 calories, lose one of the bars. So that's painful. And it's fine. Yesterday was fine. I have found that since I have learned gotten used to not eating breakfast or eating till pretty late in the day, it makes these fasts way easier. Because if you wake up and you eat your first bar which is like the bar is a very valuable part of the day because it's like the only thing that really tastes like good filling food. If you eat that right when you wake up, 8 o'clock or something, you're done. You're gonna have a horrible day. Because it's just not enough food the rest. But if you can push your start eating time, which I'm doing today, like until noon or so, then it doesn't feel like it's that hard. You're just kind of intermittent fasting into a small window. Like 800 calories in 6 hours isn't that little.
Not crazy, right? Yeah.
No. So that's how I've best found ways to deal with it. The other important thing for me, which is
what time do you normally eat your first calories? Like how much different is noon anyway?
I usually eat something around 9:30 or 10 nowadays. Partly because of the show, I just want to have something to help my brain function. But I've also just sort of, as we've read that stuff about that skipping breakfast is not really good. I've tried to eat something rather than just not. So so it's really not that different. No coffee, that's not good. I don't like that. That's painful. They do say you can if you need to, you can have some coffee, but I don't. If I'm gonna do this, like I want to actually do it. I want to get the benefit. So. So I don't know. I have not had too much trouble with just stopping coffee, like not really weaning off everything. Just stop when the fast begins, and you get a little bit of headaches, but it's not too bad. And
can you do tea or anything, or just like nothing?
They give you herbal tea, and they say, and you can also add other herbal teas, but no caffeine.
Okay.
So I just start drinking a little tea. Had a cup of tea this morning, and it's really fun. The other thing that I've done that has helped me, I really do crave like just having good food. So I just like before the dry challenge, which I'm only doing weekdays. Before that started, I just had an extra drink at night. Just wanted to have like little extras, so I kind of felt like, don't really want it the next day. At least to get one good day. So what I try to do is eat really good or really junky, not good, but at least a lot of food the day before to feel like I'm starting. It's kind of didn't happen that much. So we went to a brewery. Just had one beer there, and Aaron and Holden got some tater tots. And I was thinking those tater tots would be a great junk food to have now.
Yeah.
But I've somehow this show and like how I've taken the position of like anti-tater tot guy a little bit, or mostly just anti-Doug guy. I kind of am. It made me feel like I just shouldn't eat those. And I don't know. I talk about how they make me feel bad all the time. So I just abstained, didn't eat any tater tots. I let Aaron and Holden have them. And I'm now a no tater tot guy. I'm off of tater tots after that.
Oh, Matt, huge mistake, man. What are you thinking? Huge mistake.
Well, here's what I was thinking. After that, I was going to Top Golf because Holden had a soccer thing at Top Golf with friends. And that's also just junk food. There's also there's nothing there. So I figured we'd end up getting something there that would also be bad. So I didn't want to start with tater tots. I ended up not really eating anything at Top Golf because they just didn't. It was like a group situation and they didn't order any vegan things. And I didn't even want it. Not just that they didn't order it. I didn't want what they had. So when I was done, I stopped at Burger King and got an Impossible Whopper for myself. Holden also got an Impossible Whopper, but he didn't eat all of it. He only ate half because he did eat vegan junk food at the Top Golf. So I had a Whopper and a half. And then we happened to have ice cream that night at home. And I don't ever want ice cream, but I had some this time just to top it off. And I went to bed feeling pretty bad about how my stomach felt, which is perfect. That was a perfect way to end the eating period before the fasting begins. So yesterday was really fine because of that effort I put in.
I mean, you just would have felt so much better though if you had gotten tater tots. At least
I would have felt so much worse, and that is part of the idea. So you're right; it would have been more effective.
Oh man, I can't believe you're like you're so anti-Doug that you won't even have tater tots with your family.
Yeah, exactly. I'm gonna go anti corn chips soon. Anti Mexican food.
Anti burritos. Oh my god! I'm never going to hang out with you again. It's like.
No, it was more that I've just taken the position. I always say how badly they make me feel, and I say fries are so much better. So I don't know.
Well, I can appreciate you sticking to your guns, or I guess like digging into your convictions there.
Yeah, I did
that. What was I gonna say? We talked about s'mores.
Yeah.
And I'd kind of bashed s'mores a little
You
bit.
did.
Well, I think I figured out why I didn't like s'mores and why I enjoyed them this weekend.
Okay.
Because of the chocolate. I think the chocolate makes the s'mores.
Oh, okay.
Did you say that?
No, I said it ruins it. I said too much chocolate, and that's why I don't like it. It's better just have
Oh.
a graham cracker and a marshmallow.
Oh, well, hear me out.
Okay.
Because I think that I've always had like a sweet chocolate, which then is way too sweet for
Right.
me with the sweet marshmallow and then the sweet chocolate and then the graham crackers. But this weekend, Katie brought some like really super bitter and like salty chocolate,
Right.
and it was perfect. It was like it balanced out the sweetness of the marshmallow and the graham cracker, and I thought it was really great. I thought it was good.
Yeah.
I'm now kind of on the s'mores train. Kind
Okay.
of.
Good. I think that's a logical argument. That makes a lot of sense to me. If I were gonna have a lot of chocolate on a s'more, I think that'd be the way to do it. Even a little bit of chocolate. That's probably better than a really sweet one. I think the intensity of the chocolate, just the richness, is what makes it all too much for me. But the sweetness is certainly a part of that. So I think if you tone that down, especially add some little saltiness, I like that.
Mm-hmm.
So we agree on that.
Yeah.
Good. One more update I've got from the weekend. Robert texted me yesterday. He spoke at the Robert Cheek, vegan bodybuilder. He spoke at the the Veg Fest Fairfax in Virginia area. He said multiple people from the morning show came up to him and said, "Hey, I heard you were at Matt's house, whatever, a couple nights ago." And he said, "Of course." So he was impressed. He said, "We must be getting some traction." And I'm actually surprised because I know we have a passionate group here who shows up every day. And I know we get the 1,000 people or so who download the podcast every day, but that just doesn't seem like that would result in multiple people, at a Veg Fest coming up to Robert and saying they listened to the show. But who knows?
I mean, I have a feeling that the plant-based morning show circle and a Veg Fest goer circle, they kind of meet somewhere. So
yeah, right. Very possible.
Yeah, Aaron R posted a picture of her and Robert
cool.
in the Discord, which is cool.
Very cool. I'll have to check that out.
Mm-hmm.
Good. All right. I think that's all I got. Last thing I have is on Saturday. I was also, because of this fast, I'm not doing any weightlifting during the week, so I had to finish out my 8-week program, which required all this new testing for the new period, new 8 weeks that are coming up. So I can set the numbers and all that. So Saturday was like, for me, huge day of lifting, just crazy and a really, really sore day. So I did all that, then ate all the junk food, then ate nothing yesterday. So it was just sort of a weird up and down weekend for me of activity and eating. But anyway, that's it. That was my weekend.
Tofu Kate, shout out to her catching her first live stream.
From
listening to the podcast.
From Twitch, no less.
Ah, excellent. Even better.
Yeah, way to go, Kate. Welcome. All right. So we got a little weather report here today, then a couple fun articles. So we will jump into that.
Let's do it.
All right. Beyond Meat expanding their range in the UK. What else is new? Plant meat companies adding to the UK offerings, but nothing else here. 3 new plant-based chicken products, which I'm kind of on board with nowadays. They're pretty good to me. The new ones are Beyond Burger Chicken Style, which is a twist on the classic Beyond Burger. Like, remember the chicken burger, the turkey burger they used to make it? I don't know, school lunches. I remember a chicken burger, and of course, turkey meat became sort of a replacement.
Oh, like a chicken burger with like ground chicken meat?
I think so, because it says Beyond Burger Chicken Style. So my sense is it's a ground style. Which those kind of, I guess really since I went plant-based or went vegetarian and then vegan, they just fell off my radar. And I don't know if they fell off the radar before that, but they used to be a thing. And I just never see that anymore.
Interesting.
So anyway, Beyond is trying that, I think. Then there's the Beyond Filet, quick to prepare option described as crunchy on the outside, juicy on the inside. This would be just classic chicken sandwich patty, I think. And then Beyond Nuggets, breaded chicken pieces, nothing special about that. So do we have Beyond Nuggets here in this country? Can you go get Beyond Nuggets, or is it only always different brands?
I think Beyond Nuggets are here and have been for a while. Okay.
So maybe some of this is not brand new, but only new to the UK. Anyway, the stuff is made from fava beans and wheat gluten. Properties of beans make them ideal for replicating chicken, says Beyond, which is good. I mean, I don't know. It's probably fava bean protein. It's probably not whole fava beans for sure, which is why I like the Tofurky products. I'm really just a fan of their stuff because it's always tofu and wheat gluten, and I'm okay with that. All right, next one. This one's from Veg News. Doug, if you can pull this link up, that would be a good
yeah.
thing. We've talked a little bit about NotCo. I think Mr. Jeffrey's a fan of NotCo. They're a Chilean company. I think they're somehow involved, partnered with Heinz Kraft, maybe. But they use AI as a tool to create the plant-based food. And they've put out this ad campaign. There's been a lot of very questionable ad campaigns in the vegan or the plant-based food space recently. We know the Oatly ones are terrible. Impossibles has now resorted to taking out the 1 by 1 inch ad in the New York Times to somehow get attention around that. These are probably my favorite ones yet. I don't know how effective they were. Oh, don't forget Cookie Monster. We saw him on one the other day.
Cookie Monster.
Yeah, so I don't know what it is with the ads. They just pick weird things. But this is also weird. It's kind of cool. I don't know if it will do anything to sell plant-based food, but what they're doing is Veg News points out that if they're allowed to live their natural lives, cows can live to be 49 years old, which is crazy to me. I had no idea. I would have said 6 would be the upper boundary for a cow years. Pigs up to 23 years and chickens to 13 years. The reason that I think we associate them with being young is that the ones you see only are that young. They don't, right? They don't let them live that long. They just kill them for the meat while they're still young. I guess it's probably better that way, or less costly to have the cow. Obviously, you wouldn't support a cow for 49 years. So anyway, they used AI to generate images of what these animals would look like, because apparently it's hard to even find the animals that are that old to take a picture of, because they just basically don't exist. Maybe private owners have them somehow, but
But they don't look like that, do they? They don't have like that cow have like long curly gray hair.
My first thought was that it was a joke, a spoof kind of thing, that they were like showing, haha, look what a cow would look like. But then the pig and chicken kind of look pretty normal.
They do look pretty normal.
So I really never quite could decide if this was like an exaggeration and like, look what AI can do if we say, hey, make an old animal, make it look like an old person, but an animal, or if it's really the AI is somehow. I mean, I'm sure you can Google a picture of an old cow and then AI probably does that, and when it renders this. So anyway, it's an interesting reminder. I just think this is way too many levels deep for someone on the subway station or whatever to look at this and say, well, I'm not going to eat cows anymore because look at that old cow. Right?
I think it puts some. It makes you think a little bit. Mm-hmm. I don't know if it'll change my habits or would have changed my habits, but
yeah, it's just I don't know. It definitely makes you say
that cow does look pretty old. Not gray, but
right. Yeah, so it does make you think. It makes you say, that's interesting that I never see an old animal like that. I guess it's because they kill them when they're really young, and that's not a good life. So
right.
Yeah, I guess it's enough. It's definitely not the same as like seeing graphic imagery of an animal being harmed. Although Robert, when he was here, his new book is all about this sort of stuff, how to spread the vegan message in a way that's actually effective. And he's looking a lot at the effectiveness of different techniques. And apparently the graphic animal cruelty messaging does not work on the younger generation at all. I don't know if it really worked ever all that well, but he talked to people and they said, or the woman he talked to at least said, she said, for my generation, that doesn't matter. We grew up with violence on TV and video games, everything. It's not as jarring to us as it is to you old folks.
Wow.
And I thought that's really interesting. Yeah. So anyway, he had many more stats about things that were and weren't effective. So that's why I'm excited about his book when it comes out. I think it'll be a while still. But anyway.
I don't know if you're looking at the screen, but look at this cow that I'm showing. Mm-hmm. That is an old looking cow.
Yeah. Yeah,
and it would look it would be out of place, right? Like if you saw that, if you were walking.
Well, yeah, for sure. Yeah,
I would think like, what, that cow is sick or something, but it's probably just old, Anyway,
yeah,
I like it. I kind of like this campaign, this ad campaign.
I do too. I like it. I just don't know how effective it will be, but it's not cringe. And Steven points that out here. He says, I don't often see vegan advertising that's good. More often, pretty cringe. It is, and Steven often sends me that advertising pictures of it, and then I don't get the messages because somehow I don't get WhatsApp notifications. So I just saw 3 messages from Steven this weekend that were from March, 3 of them. So Steven, I apologize. It seems like I'm ignoring you. I know, but that's what happens.
I mean, you probably wouldn't respond anyway. So,
I mean, I'm known for my delayed responses. With Steven, they're legitimate. I don't get the messages.
Okay.
Way too late.
All right.
All right. Moving on. So is that our weather report? I'm gonna pull up the thing here. Or do I
Yes,
have one
that's
more?
our weather report.
Okay, that's it. Good. All right. So a little bit of time left here today. We have some food articles. We figured for price increase stuff that is interesting stuff. It's just probably not for a Monday. Monday show is a little always hard to get going. So we're just gonna keep moving here with a little less deep articles, maybe. One of them, controversial fast foods, is going to be fun. I looked at that article and liked it a lot. But first, I've had this one for a little while, Doug. This is part of my anti-Doug campaign. Cold showers aren't good for everyone. Why you may want to skip this trend, doctors say. And it's not really me being anti-Doug. It's me looking out for health interests. You know, Doug, I always tell you not to go cycling because I don't want you to fall prey to that trap, like so many people do. But the cold shower and the cold plunge trend, I've read in several places now, in a couple recently, just happened to, that there actually are some dangers associated with it, particularly if you have if you're at high risk for heart disease or heart if you have a history of heart stuff, family history. So the headline is cold showers aren't good for everyone. Why you may want to skip this trend, doctors say. They mentioned a few people who shouldn't do it. First, they say talk to your doctor because there's some stuff that can happen. Your doctor can assess your medical history and all that. They say people with heart problems, they can be dangerous for. It's a shock to your system, and shock leads to a significant drop in blood pressure and an increase in heart rate. So from another place, I read that if you have a low blood pressure, you don't want to be doing this because of that drop in blood pressure can actually, make you get woozy and then you gasp and you take in a bunch of water and then you drown. So that's not good. But apparently the shock can actually cause your heart to just stop. I mean, it can do it. And apparently showers are much safer than actually plunging in really cold water. Like they said, below 60 degrees. Showers probably not enough to actually cause that, but apparently it's a real risk. American Heart Association has a article about it. That you're not a polar bear. The plunge into cold water comes with risks. So you got to be careful here, Doug.
That's a good headline.
Yeah.
You're not a polar bear. I mean, I believe this. I have often thought about this, right? Like there's all the research saying that it does good things for you, but I mean, if you get in really cold water, like it takes the breath out of you, you're kind of hyperventilating for a minute to try to like catch your breath and get things under control. And even yesterday or like over the weekend, I did a couple creek plunges and it was pretty cold out. And on the second one, right before I get out, I like to kind of throw my head back and go all the way under one more time. And I stood up and I was like dizzy and I was like, oh, that, and I was by myself in the creek. So like, that could have been bad.
Yeah.
And so, I think about that stuff often. And, I'm with this friend group. We do it after the runs together and we're all in varying levels of shape and medical backgrounds. And so, I think, I don't know, we all encourage each other to do it, but it's possible that something could happen, right? I mean, there's no way it doesn't cause some stress on your heart and on your body. So.
Right. So let me tell the other people who shouldn't do this, and then I'll give you my final thought on the issue. The other people who shouldn't do this is people with lung issues may face risks as well. It says.
Why is that?
Let's see. Because cold showers can constrict the airways in the lung. And again, they're just talking about cold showers. I assume it's multiplied risk here if you're talking about actually plunging, because it's just a different effect entirely. They can constrict the airways, making them particularly dangerous for people with conditions like asthma or chronic obstructive pulmonary disease. Can cause bronchospasm or tightening of the muscles, which can lead to shortness of breath and wheezing. And finally, you should also skip the cold showers if you're already sick. I think this kind of goes without saying that if you're already sick, you don't need adrenaline rush or whatever else you're going to get from a cold shower. So I'm not trying to be the damper on everything. Here's what I think. If you're doing this because it's a health trend and you think this is so good for my long-term health, then I think whatever these risks are, and I don't know how many unknown risks there are, like the American Heart Association website, like their concern was that there had been some studies on this, but very little of it had been done on people who actually had heart conditions. So with new trends like this, especially, new trends that are meant to be wellness or longevity trends, they scare me when we don't know what the risks down the road are or what, even the immediate risks might be, just because they're not studied. So like when there's maybe some marginal benefit down the road health wise, I just it seems odd that we would think that outweighs whatever unknown risk there might be health wise. So I think if you're doing it for recreation, if it's a fun thing to do, if it encourages you to go out there and get your run done, you like it, then it's fine. And you should be a little careful, obviously, and not do it if you have certain conditions. But then it's good. But I just think this kind of stuff, you should not do these things for health reasons. Same with cycling. I think it should not be a health choice to do cycling because it's likely to put you in the hospital and be a major loss of health if you go to the hospital.
Oh my God.
I'm serious. But if it's a fun recreational thing and it's
Uh-huh.
a thing that you choose to do, accepting the risks, then that's different.
I mean, every day we choose things. We choose to do things, and knowing the risk, there's risk involved, right?
Sure, some things, but
I mean, I think that there's probably an article that if I Googled, what's the name of this article? If I Googled right now, marathons aren't good for everyone, why you should skip this trend, right? There's probably an article with that exact same headline.
Definitely.
About how marathons aren't good for everybody and how if you have heart disease or if you have certain weight issues or I don't know, whatever, then maybe you shouldn't run a marathon or you should do something different instead. Right? I mean, but you do it anyway. And you take on that risk and that's it.
Exactly. And that's consistent still with my point of view here. If you're saying I want to get healthy, so I'm gonna become a marathon runner, I would say that's stupid. Like you can get healthy by doing 30 minutes of running, 4 days a week. You don't need to be a marathon runner. That's if you have this desire to do this despite extra risks and extra, pain and all the other stuff that comes with it.
Mm-hmm.
It's a recreation sort of thing.
Right. I've long said since we've talked about cold plunges and cold showers that I don't know that there are any long-term benefits. I mean, I know that there's some science there, but it's also young and it's all like who knows? To me, it just feels really good and it like gets me feeling really good for the next couple hours. Mm-hmm. And I like the whole like process of it and the run and then doing it and whatever else. And it was my brother-in-law who we were camping with this weekend. He started kind of dabbling in cold showers because he lives in the state of Nama Creek. But he's like, oh, I never do them after a workout. He was kind of surprised that I do it after the run because, something we talked about on the show about it, kind of halting some of the muscle regrowth.
Right. Right.
And so for him, it's like more of a health thing. But for me, just like I want to do it after the run. I don't want to do it before the run. Like to me, it just feels like a really awesome way to end the run. And then I feel so good afterwards. And so, yeah, I mean, for me, it's just kind of this fun thing. And so I'm not concerned about it. That's what I'm trying to say. But I totally can see how this is not for everybody.
Yeah. By the way, I have the same viewpoint with drinking right now that I understand more about it. It's like, I'm no longer lying to myself and saying this is a health benefit thing for me to do. It's just that I like it. So I'm going to accept the added risk that it comes with and do it in moderation. So yeah, I don't think this is inconsistent. All right, Emery, this would be surprising. Emery says, is it all cycling or just mountain biking that Matt doesn't want you to do? The mountain biking, actually, Emery, is the one I'm most fine with because yes, you can go to the hospital. And I know a couple people who have been in the hospital for mountain biking. One very traumatic issue. But road cycling is what everyone I know who starts it eventually goes to the hospital. Gets hit by a car, dies sometimes, breaks bones. It should be illegal, in my opinion.
It should be illegal. Oh my God.
Yeah, I'm serious.
Oh my God, Matt, come on.
You're the only one I know who cycles now, because I don't know how regularly you do it. Who hasn't had a going to the hospital for it. The only person.
I mean, it is kind of wild. Everyone on our team, except for me, who cycles with any regularity, has gone to the hospital from mountain biking or from road cycling. And it's been it's been like 5 people on a team of 12. It's kind of wild.
Right. And many people outside that too. I'm still like, I don't know. I guess, I mean, surely there are actual numbers on this stuff. And I always cautious about anecdotal evidence. It just is like overwhelming evidence to me that everyone I know who I'm like, oh, that person's who I classify as serious cyclist, they end up in the hospital.
Yeah. I think I don't know. I mean, that is of course one of the risks I feel like I take every time I go out and do it, which is every couple weeks. But I'm actually no, I ride my bike I commute on my bike to the coffee shop or to the bar or to a meeting or something all the time. But as far as like going out and going on rides every couple weeks, but I I don't know. I'm with Steven here. I'd rather ban cars or do more to protect cyclists than ban cycling.
Yeah. I mean, I understand the argument. I'm not against. I like the idea of a travel of a commute thing like that that's healthy. I mean, it's fantastic, but it just seems like a huge high risk activity. Steven says worse in the U.S. because it's so car dominated. Yeah, that's probably true.
Yeah, I'm sure it is. Yeah.
All right. Anne-Marie's kind of on my side. I think she says, I gave up road cycling after I finished my Ironman, and it's crazy in Florida. I would never cycle here. There you go. That's one state. Now, if I can convince you of the other 49, you're on my side.
Yeah. Steven says, I have to be diplomatic. He says ban cars. That's right. I'm not coming out and saying
Steven wants to ban capitalism though. He's a little bit along the path down that road, I think. Okay. Next article here.
All right.
This is a fun one. I was not planning on this, found it today and thought this is too good not to do. 6 most controversial fast food items launched in 2023. So both of our articles today, no, this is from Best Life this is Eat This, Not That. The other one was Best Life Online. But anyway, most of these we're not going to eat. Most people on the show aren't eating most of these things, but several of them are actually vegan or otherwise relevant to what we talk about on the show. So I figured it'd be fun. First of all, they mentioned a couple of the ones that have happened before. Subway faced legal trouble after customers discovered that the chain's foot-long sub sandwiches aren't actually a foot long. That sounds like a pretty no-brainer lawsuit to do and win.
Yeah.
Add that to our list. Start looking for things.
How do they think they could do that? Was it just that the bread like shrank a little bit? Like, I wonder what was the.
I have no idea. Did they actually say they were 12 inches, or was like just a name, like foot long, one word? Or saying that's a
$5 foot long. Yeah, I mean, like the whole thing. They like do the whole thing.
But I guess you could argue that like we never said the thing was a foot long. We're just calling it a foot long. That's just the name of it.
Oh yeah,
it's like a football.
Or it's as long as my foot, which is 9 inches.
Yeah, right.
Or 10 inches.
But I'm pretty sure in the store it says 6 inch or 12 inch. So that would be a problem. And then McDonald's, let's see. No, never mind. This was just controversial. McLean Deluxe, which did not work out. Okay, and then we talked about the Texas Pete lawsuit when they were sued because it's not made in Texas, it's made in North Carolina, and some kind of pasta that claimed to sort of be, or it looked like it was from Italy, but actually wasn't. So pretty good lawsuits out there. Here's another one. These aren't all lawsuits. They're just controversial. But this one's kind of funny. Sweet Green's Chicken and Chipotle Pepper Bowl. Sweet Green, Doug, you're a fan of that, right?
I am a Sweet Green fan. Yep.
Yeah. Well, when they did this, Chipotle took legal action, sued Sweet Green, and saying they were using their name and trademark to promote a food product very similar, directly to competitive to Chipotle's Chicken Burrito Bowl. But like Chipotle's a thing, right? That's what Chipotle was named after.
And it says Chipotle pepper.
I don't understand it. I don't see how, but I think Sweet Green quickly agreed to rename the menu item as Chicken and Chipotle Pepper Bowl. So it was called Chipotle Chicken, Chipotle Chicken.
Chipotle Chicken Burrito Bowl. Oh, Chipotle Chicken Burrito Bowl. I mean, that sounds
a little bit like it's their chicken or something.
Yeah,
I get that. Okay, so but chicken and Chipotle is fine. Apparently, that has resolved the lawsuit, which is good because I was gonna countersue somebody for that if they were saying you can't call it Chicken and Chipotle Pepper Bowl. I mean, that'd be ridiculous.
It would be.
All right, so that one happened. That was number one. Number two, we've talked about on the show, Starbucks Oleato coffee drinks. I've still been unable to find them. I asked them once, and they said pretty sure it was just going to be on the West Coast. But they come with an unforeseen side effect. Not just that people don't really like them. They're saying they taste strange. Apparently, olive oil has a slight laxative effect and can kickstart people's bowels, especially when combined with caffeine.
Wait, isn't that coffee in general?
I know, that's what I thought. Like, how do they distinguish? But it's not like there is no lawsuit involved here. This is just people complaining about that.
Okay.
But yeah, you could imagine that I mean, certainly very fatty things, I think, kind of have that effect. As they say here, olive oil has a laxative effect. I think that's probably true of almost any fatty food. And certainly coffee does that. So when you combine the two, maybe you get a synergistic effect, 1 + 1 = 3 situation, and it's no good.
Do you know James Hoffman, the YouTuber?
Sounds familiar, but no.
Coffee. He's a coffee YouTuber. He did a thing where he's
Is
from
he like an Irish guy or something like that?
yeah, from UK somewhere.
I do know.
He reviewed all of them, and I actually found it really interesting.
Oh, he reviewed this
He's a
line, the
coffee
Oleander
snob.
line?
Yeah, he did the whole line.
Ah,
And he's like
okay.
a real true coffee snob, but I thought his take was pretty interesting.
What did he say? What was his take?
Like not his thing, but he actually, he kind of liked a lot of them, or enjoyed a lot of them, and just kind of bought into it. By the end, he was like kind of sold on it.
Wow.
Not as a thing to have every day, but
yeah,
he was kind of into it for what they
I
were.
like when people do that. I mean, to me, the expected response in that situation is, "This isn't real coffee. This is no good." So when people accept things like at Topgolf, one of the soccer players' kids, his dad was a former pro golfer. I'm not sure what tour he played on or what, but when I met him, I was like, "Hey, weren't you a pro golfer?" And I was like, "Do you hate it here? Like, is this place just make you gag?" And he's like, "No, this is great. I love this place." So I was respect gained because I thought, a golfer would say this is garbage, but he liked it.
What's garbage about Topgolf?
It's the same thing. All right, so that one is relevant to the show. Then next, relevant to you, Doug, Dunkin's breakfast tacos. Now, I don't think this is a plant-based version, but when they debuted these in March, the risk did not pay off. People did not like it. They described it as bland and egregious. Poorly made taco was a sign that Dunkin' shouldn't have branched out from its usual sandwiches and donuts. Some said the entire chain had dropped in quality. So, and I guess someone did a picture on Reddit with like no filling in the taco, and that was their thing. Here's my favorite part. Someone says, "I'm not on Reddit. I'm not sure why anyone would go to Dunkin'. Literally everything they do, someone else does better." And I started thinking about it, and I was like, "That's pretty much that is right.
Pretty good."
Yeah, like even the donuts. I think you could say Krispy Kreme would be the donut place,
right?
Breakfast sandwiches, probably any of the fast food places.
Coffee.
You've got Starbucks, obviously. Now, I like Dunkin' coffee. I think it's pretty good, but I can see why someone would prefer Starbucks. So yeah, they're just
that is pretty funny.
A lot of things.
I like that.
Yeah. What do you think of the taco? What do you think of the taco move? Do you think every chain should go into the taco? Yeah. Should every chain have a breakfast taco or some sort of taco?
The thing with breakfast tacos and breakfast burritos is that they're kind of like if you're gonna have a to-go breakfast that isn't a sandwich, right? I mean, it's like your options are a sandwich or something wrapped in a tortilla. I mean, there's nothing Mexican about that, right?
Is that really your only options?
Yeah, those are my only options. You
can get a pastry, you get a donut, you get a bagel.
I mean,
it's not just a Mexican food or a sandwich.
Okay, you're right. All right. I take it back. I don't hate it. I mean, I don't think that they should try to like be the best breakfast taco in the world. No, right. You know what? Dunkin' Donuts should stay out of the taco. I'm so? This is real time thinking here, real time processing, and I'm thinking that
that most restaurants should add a taco to the menu. In your opinion, Dunkin' Donuts should stay out.
Dunkin' Donuts should stay out. Yeah.
Okay.
But if I go to like my bakery, for example,
right?
I get bread from a bakery every week. Delicious. Every morning they have breakfast burritos, and they're not vegan, so I've never had one. But I've always appreciated that they have breakfast burritos there. That's like kind of their like to go breakfast thing.
Yeah. Okay. Fair enough. I like a breakfast burrito. I probably like that better than a regular burrito, actually. When you can get it with potatoes in it or something, but it's like you said, it's never really a vegan option. All right, moving on.
I see you, Boo Peekaboo says that Mexicans would laugh for calling it a taco, a breakfast taco.
Right.
But
I think they're laughing specifically at a vegan breakfast taco.
A vegan breakfast
taco. Which it was, because I don't think it was. I mean, I'm sure it wasn't.
And Kate, aka Rivercat, says oatmeal. What about oatmeal?
Yeah. Or an apple or a banana. I mean, there's all kinds of breakfast things you can eat that aren't burritos. All right, number 4, also discussed a lot on our show. Chick-fil-A's cauliflower sandwich. Nothing really new here to the controversy. Just some customers accused the company of becoming too woke. Others said they just didn't find the idea of a cauliflower sandwich appealing. That would probably be my argument. Our bigger problem is it wasn't vegan, so you'd have to be in order to get this, I can't imagine anyone who's not a vegetarian is going to get it. When there's this world famous chicken sandwich you can get instead. So then you're talking about just non-vegan vegetarians is who this is for. And there's just not enough people. So not surprised this is not a hit. I haven't heard for sure that it's going away, but I can't imagine it's gonna.
Yeah, I wonder if it's even still here.
Yeah, I don't know. Number 5, McDonald's Cardi B and Offset meal. So when I saw this, I'm not involved in the world, the normal world where pop stars and things exist. So I didn't know what this was. I thought it was sort of a carbon offset thing or a cardio thing and offset. I thought it was some like eco-friendly, health-friendly meal. No, it's 2 married rappers, Cardi B and Offset, for the latest celebrity meal order in February. Anyway, I guess people were upset because they use a lot of profanity in their music, and I guess they have separate music, or they do the same music, or do they do music together?
Well, Cardi B is an independent artist. I don't think that. I mean, they do some. I don't really know who Offset is, but Cardi B, is huge in her own right.
Okay. So anyway, people thought it would not be good because of all that. That it would damage the family-friendly image of McDonald's, which I guess McDonald's has that still. I don't really know.
Okay, so this is interesting. We stopped at McDonald's on the way home from camping because we were looking for a bathroom, and I got a McCafe. And that was my first time. Good. Yeah, well, it wasn't bad. Especially for fast food.
You got like coffee. A latte type? Like, do they have a vegan milk, or do you just get a black coffee?
No, I just got a coffee. But it's fine. But that was my first time going into a McDonald's, or maybe I don't know. I can't remember the last time, and I could not believe how different it was. Like it is so far removed from the Ronald McDonald family place than it used to be. I mean, everything is super high tech. Like the furniture's all like real modern. You can sit at your table and scan a thing and order on your phone, and they'll deliver it to you. It was like a totally different McDonald's experience than what I remember as a kid. And so, do they even still have the like family friendly thing?
I mean, there are still McDonald's that have like the playground and all that in them. There's one on Tunnel Road actually. If you're ever in Nashville, you should go.
Okay.
Bring the girls there. Get some bacteria, get in the ball pit.
Yeah, being good. Definitely want to get sick some more. That sounds great.
So I don't know. I don't know if any of them they would preserve the old image, but I mean, you could have high tech and still be family friendly. But you're saying it didn't even seem like a kid.
No, I mean, like all the artwork was like modern kind of adult artwork, and it was like it was like word heavy. It was like one of those things that there's this huge light art thing that said "juicy burger," and like it just didn't feel kid focused at all. I mean, of course it was kid friendly, right? They may still have Happy Meals and all that stuff, but like didn't have that kid focus where you could sit on a bench next to Ronald McDonald who had his arm out,
right?
And
or the Hamburglar.
Or the Hamburglar, right?
Grimace, was that the guy's name? Grimace, the big purple guy.
I remember him. Yeah, I mean, it's just I was just blown away about how different it was because it's been so long since I've been in one.
Yeah, that's funny. All right, and final one here: Baskin-Robbins chicken and waffles ice cream. And I guess what they did here was they didn't put actual chicken in it. Of course, this is not a vegan ice cream, so it's still buttermilk. Well, it's still ice cream. But they said they tried to mimic the taste of fried chicken in a buttermilk waffle flavored ice cream with a bourbon maple syrup flavored swirl. They used crispy bits designed to mimic the taste. So it wasn't actual chicken, but like crispy bread bits, I guess, or crumbles, whatever. And people just said, no good. One Twitter user said there's only one place this should be, in the trash.
Oh, burn.
Yeah. I
know. I would be into an ice cream and waffle. The savoriness of the waffle.
But an ice cream chicken, vegan chicken and waffles. So look, they actually put an apostrophe in their chicken in Baskin-Robbins chicken and waffles. And maybe that's
the way they do vegan chicken.
That's probably how they avoided a lawsuit from somebody since there wasn't actual chicken in it. So they did it like a vegan chicken way.
I mean, I guess people eat waffle cones all the time. I mean, it's not that different, but for some reason, this fluffy, full-on waffle looks a little more savory to me.
Yeah,
than waffle
that
does.
looks different. I mean, but ice cream on waffle, no controversy there. I wouldn't really
Yeah,
want it.
right.
But
It's the chicken. I know.
it's the
I'm
chicken.
focused on the
Right.
the waffle. What
So,
actually looks good.
all right, but what if someone had you a vegan chicken, chicken and waffles flavor ice cream? Because we eat vegan chicken and waffles. That's the thing. I've had that for sure. I had that at Plant one time,
Uh-huh.
and it's good. And I think they make. Some people say they make. I think Bianca had some kind of frozen product that was that. It was chicken and waffles vegan.
Mhm.
I actually think this would kind of be good. Like if you're
Yeah.
talking about like just crispy bread bits that kind of taste like fried chicken in ice cream, I can see how that would be good. We just said salty chocolate is good. So
Yeah.
I could see these savory bits in the ice cream being pretty good. Um, I guess if you start thinking about it as being real chicken in there, maybe even as a non-vegetarian, that just seems weird to have the real animal flesh in ice cream. But I mean, ice cream is animal,
Yeah, it's animal.
pus, whatever from their
Yeah.
body.
Gross.
Guess it's not just that, but
Ugh.
anyway. So I like that list. I thought none of that list would apply to us, and turns out almost all of them had some tie back to the show. And
I appreciate that as well. Thanks for bringing this in. I see you boo peekaboo.
Yeah,
Says that they tried the cauliflower sandwich at Chick-fil-A this weekend and they were happy about it. So
amazing.
I'm glad I haven't actually heard anybody try it.
Yeah, I haven't either. I've heard people who have seen it and just bypassed it, but yeah, interesting. I'm glad to hear it's good.
Mm-hmm.
Now they just need to make a vegan one. That would not be that hard at all. And then I would totally go get that. I'm not that I'm saying I would love it, but I would get it and be excited to have that option. Anyway.
Aisha says, "Ew, no, yeah, yikes! The ice cream talk took a turn, which it did very much did."
All right, Steven is reminding everyone to hit that like button, please. If you're on YouTube, hit like, subscribe, hit the bell to turn the notifications on. Because
leave us a review on iTunes, Spotify.
Yep, all those
things.
Please do that. We don't ever ask for that stuff, so please go do it. It's really helpful.
If you're looking for vitamins or protein powder or a prebiotic probiotic blend or greens powder, hit up Complement. We really believe in these products and put a lot of thought and research into them. They're not just thrown together.
No, they're not. That is true. All right. All right. Last, I got to address this one. Steven says that guy you mentioned is English barista credited with pioneering the Britain's third wave coffee movement, whatever that means. Whatever that means, Steven, is the first wave of coffee was like the cheap Folgers type stuff, at least in the United States. I don't know about Britain's. The cheap, 1940s, 50s, whatever, ground coffee at home. And then the second wave of coffee was when Howard Schultz discovered Italian cafes and brought that back in the form of Starbucks to the United States. So then it was this very roasty, flavored Italian style coffee, European style, I guess. And then this third wave is the light roasted, different brewing methods, brew at home. I don't know how else to describe it, but small batch roasting and all that stuff. So I would assume it's kind of the same in Britain. I don't know for sure, but that's what that means for Steven and anyone else who needs to know that.
Are you're into the third wave? You're a part of the
I love
third
that.
wave?
That really has gotten me to become a big coffee fan. That third wave, and I like those so much more than the other waves.
Mm-hmm.
There you go. All right. Well, that is our show. Almost an hour today. That was fun. Good Monday show. We'll be back tomorrow. Anything else, Doug, to say as we sign off?
Join us in Discord if you got anything you want us to talk about. Any questions? Someone asked you a question, Matt, that we can talk about tomorrow. But if you have questions that you want either of us to answer or both of us to answer, head over to nomeatathlete.com/Discord, join the Discord, and ask us in the Ask Matt and Doug channel.
Yes. We always talk about Discord. We rarely say how to go to it. It's nomeatathlete.com/Discord, as Doug just said. So go over there, sign up. You'll be welcomed. It's not hard to use. It's an easy platform to figure out. So yeah, check that out, please. It's fun.
Absolutely.
Okay, that is it. Thanks for joining us. We'll be back tomorrow.